Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Leadership Excellence Podcast. Your hosts are George Trachilis and Tom Lawless. Today, we're diving into one of the most practical and transformative habits in lean leadership, Daily Kaizen. Daily Kaizen is where continuous improvement becomes part of everyday work, not a special event, not an annual initiative, but a daily rhythm. It's fixing what bugs you.
Yeah.
George,
All
what do
right.
you
So
think?
the,
Let's talk.
the I think we got to start with the three things somebody needs to do, like or think about when they think about daily Kaizen. What are they doing? So I would suggest number one is enabling people. You want to enable people, give them the right tools, the time, standard processes. So this is like just think about any job. You should have standard processes.
Yeah,
You every time you do something that's out of standard, you got to think, man, there's got to be an easier way and improve the standard. Number two is coach. You want to coach them to think like a problem solver. You want a world of problem solvers out there. Coach them to think scientifically, PDCA, about what they're doing and how they could do it better. Coach, and then finally, as a team, you want to develop the team. You want to strengthen the team's ability to think scientifically and act autonomously over time. You don't want to be there doing all the work. So, as a leader, it's almost like you have to remove yourself from the situation. You want a company that's capable. If you want that, then you better enable your people. You better coach them, and then you better develop the teams so that their ability grows over time because you can't do it all by yourself. So
that's
we've
right.
got we've got six amazing habits, and maybe Tom, why don't you start with the first one, and we're gonna continue just to repeat. We Tom and I did some work over this over the week, and we have six habits. I'll just review them with you. Six winning habits. One, go to the Gemba. This is always going to be number one, no matter what. Go to the real place where the action is. Identify and expose problems. Facilitate PDCA. So get people thinking scientifically, provide coaching and feedback, critical. And build standard work for managers and everybody in the company. Get standards out there. That's usually what lean leaders will say. That's step one, create a standard. And recognize and celebrate improvement. If you don't do that, you're just not going to develop the culture that you want. Okay, Tom, why don't you start with go to the Gemba? What does that mean?
George, going to the Gemba, it's where the work is actually done. It's where the value added work is actually done, right? And what is value added? Well, one, the customer has to be willing to pay for it. Second is it has to transform your product or service from one phase to another. And three, it has to be done right the first time. Now, I'm not saying that managers are not value added, but the customer is not willing to pay for you. And you're not you're not transforming that product from one phase to another. Go into the Gemba, where the work actually happens. Spend time at the Gemba daily. Watch the process. Don't just watch the outcomes, watch the process. Don't tell, watch. It's like Shingo used to say, was it big eyes, big ears, small mouth. You stand back and you watch and you engage team members, right? Don't judge them, you engage them. When I go to the Gemba, I want people to feel comfortable around me. So I want to know about them. I'll ask them different questions. Hey, how long have you worked here? Does your family work here? These are things that really may not have much to do with the actual job, but guess what? I want them to feel comfortable with me. I want them to feel comfortable when they have an idea that they can come to me and tell me what their idea is. And like I tell them, hey, guess what? If your idea works, it's yours. If it doesn't work, it's mine. I'll take it. I'll take the law. I'm good with that. I
Yeah, I
fail
love
every
that.
day. I'm good with that. Going to the Gimba. You know, I love that leaders will put it on their list of, hey, I have to go to the Gemba. But usually those Gemba walks are like what? Every week they say, "Oh, I have to go to the Gemba." And like I asked some of them is, "All right, so how many times do you walk by the plant door or walk by where the work is being done? You have 5 minutes and you don't walk out there to see what's going on." That is your sole purpose in life is what's happening out there, right? And we spend so much time in the office. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts, George?
Well, I could say I could say that going to Gemba, as Shingo would call it, going to Gemba was something that was so obvious that over time, if you don't build it into your standard work, it's just you remove yourself. I think there's a natural tendency to get stuck in a project that keeps you away from the Gemba, right?
Yeah,
So one of the things we looked at was managers and how much time do they spend doing routine activities. As an owner of a company, it would be 20%. So 20% of your day on average through the week, which means 1 day a week at least, you could standardize your work. Okay. Now, what does standardizing mean? Well, first of all, if you don't know what you're doing while you're standardizing, the number one thing is to make things visual so you can go out there and identify and expose problems. So, making things visual and visible is about what's the standard and thinking to yourself, do I have a problem? Is anything out of standard? What should it be? And what is it? And what's the gap? That's the problem. And that's
yeah,
why you want to go through problem solving at some point, but identifying and exposing problems is different than problem solving. If you don't have that skill, then you're in trouble. So use visual management to highlight deviations, no matter where you are, and create this kind of standard work for you as a leader so that you can get out there, go to the Gemba, so far, one of the winning habits, and identify and expose problems. Winning habit number two. What do you think, Tom?
I agree. I mean, if you can't, if it isn't visible, how can you solve it if you don't know it's there? And then also when you talk about, uh, people, so we hear so often that, well, people aren't following the process or they're not being, they're not doing this to standard. Well, do you have a standard? Do you have standard work, real standard work, right? Because we have all this variation. And guess what? Really, one of the biggest pieces of my thought is one of the biggest areas of variation. People.
Mhm.
We're all different. So if we don't have a standard, how can we reduce that variation? And to do that, we need our standards and we need to have them visible, right? So I completely agree with you, George. We need to facilitate PDCA and learning cycles, right? Which is step three. Use this. This is our it's a structured method for improvement. It's a scientific thinking, right? You plan, do, check, act. You define what the problem is. What's your desired outcome? You do a small controlled change. You measure and evaluate the results, and then you standardize if you have successes, you standardize it, or you make adjustments and you redo it, right? And in a lot of cases, you have to redo it. That's fine. What happens too often is somebody will say, "Well, I failed, so this doesn't work." What part of it failed? You can make adjustments. Don't be so stubborn to think, "Well, that didn't work, so we're not going to do it now. It doesn't work for us." Yeah, it does. Just you might have to make an adjustment.
Yeah, I love that. So the key is learning. You want to learn. So
Yeah.
facilitating these PDCA learning cycles, that's like, oh, a winning combination right there. That's the heart of anything you should be doing in your organization. And it's winning habit number three. Now, number four, winning habit number four is provide coaching and feedback. This is where you and I, Tom, I think we spend most of our lives, right? The purpose is to develop people to their full potential, guide them through what's called problem solving. One thing I was so shocked at was, and this is way back, like 10 years ago, going through Sessions with Jeffrey K. Liker, the author of The Toyota Way. He says Toyota, when they were trying to expand globally, they created one business practice. They called it Toyota Business Practices. And that was PDCA. That was their 8 step problem solving methodology. They called it Toyota Business Practices, but it's really an 8 step method to problem solving. And it's like got 5 steps as part of the P and then the D, C, and A. They structured it and they said, this is what everybody must do. It's pretty amazing. Now, coaching and feedback, what are you doing? You're developing your people through this guided problem solving that you've developed in your company. If you don't have a methodology, get a hold of Tom. I mean, he does this. He teaches problem solving for a living. And so do I. So ask open-ended questions. It's a great way to start problem solving, reinforce corrected and correct thinking, not just the results. This is another big mistake people make is they're looking for results. No, look for the process. The
Yeah.
process delivers results. And where in the process do you need to focus? This is kind of getting to the point of cause. What's the cause that is getting you undesired effects? Where is the cause? That's where you focus, and then you do what you call your 5 whys from there. But you want to be able to provide that coaching and feedback to all of your managers. Sometimes executives don't have the skill. That's why they call us, right? But generally,
True.
this is the 4th step: provide coaching and feedback. And number 5, winning of the winning steps, is build standard work for managers and leaders. So, Tom, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. I mean, if you're okay, establish stable routines that managers have and that your people have. There's nothing wrong with, I mean, one of the 7 basic quality tools is a checklist, right? And how many managers have a checklist, have a daily checklist, have their leader standard work in place, right? They should set daily routines. They should have their daily stand-ups. I was just talking to a team this last week on the importance of daily stand-ups in your management walks. Um, and these guys got it. I mean, they after we started talking about your daily stand-ups, they're I mean, they were really excited. They're talking about, wow, this is a great way to communicate with our whole team. Yes. Yes, you communicate with your whole team with this. You tell what happened yesterday. What do we have planned today? What what went wrong yesterday and how can we improve it? Right? Ensure that there's clear ownership of the processes. And then regularly review these and hold Kaizen meetings. But you standardize the leadership behavior, right? So yeah, I can't stress enough on how building work for managers and teams and daily stand-ups. Daily stand-ups are uh, once again, if you can't see it, you can't fix it.
Yeah, I love
And
it.
daily stand-ups show what's really happening.
I was just talking to somebody else too this week, and it's one of our coaches, and he was talking about um, another value, not safety. I said, well, one of the things with safety is to build it into your daily stand-ups. For example, I told him in the construction industry, they make it a habit of getting everybody together at the beginning of the shift and doing stretches. And he thought that was amazing. I said, do you know, I was there at one of these organizations. I had to do my stretches. It felt so good. I felt great that day. It's amazing that I don't stretch every day. It's one of those things. And that's part of your daily habits. One of the ways to do this is look at the core values of your organization and say, how are we going to achieve safety? Well, look at all the things you could be doing, including building it into your winning habit of, standard work for a leader.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's number 5. Number 6, this is my favorite. I really love this, and I'll tell you why, is I had to learn it. Recognize and celebrate improvements. When I was a young leader, I was of the opinion that, look, I don't want any compliments. Tell me what I'm doing wrong and I will change. That was my approach. So therefore, I thought everybody else just wanted to be told what they're doing wrong so they can improve. It's an extension of my world, but that's not the case. Reality is you have to recognize and celebrate these improvements only because you'll be motivating and inspiring people to do more rather than sapping the energy out of them. You're zapping them with energy. And you got to acknowledge these wins and publicly share the lessons. Remember, it's not about one person. It's about everybody. And you encourage others to do the same. I've got in the Harada app, I've got a section where I'm encouraging people to go in and make an improvement, share with the world, and keep this up because it's really up to you. Self-reliance is you got to do it for yourself. If you want a place to report in, well, we got places to report in globally. So that's the sixth winning habit. Tom, do you have anything to add?
No, I mean, I completely agree. I think you're reinforcing the culture and the improvement, and you're keeping people involved, right? Because if it's out of sight, it's out of mind.
Yeah. I'm going to say this that taking a polar opposite view is what we're going to start doing. Tom is
Yeah.
agreeing with me. And if he doesn't, I want him to say, look, I don't agree. Make sure the environment is safe
Oh, yeah.
for
That's a very
discussion.
good point.
Yeah.
Very good point. Don't just agree to be agreeing.
Okay, so
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
we've done today is we've covered our three core responsibilities in building a great daily Kaizen, which is look, enable people, coach and develop people, and develop teams. So this is it. Uh, you're developing people to support you and become capable of supporting your organization as it moves forward. What's their capability level? Maybe a metric. You should create one for your organization and start working the gap between perfection or, okay, continuous improvement, daily continuous improvement, and where you are today. That's the gap. Go to it. These are the six winning habits. Tom, anything else to add?
No, I really appreciate it, George. I really like the Kaizen, daily Kaizen. It's small improvements, right? You don't have to have this huge event. It's small improvements.
That's it. Keep on listening to us and make little improvements. You'll get there. And,
Absolutely.
you get some ideas along the way of what we've done and failed at, which is where
That's
the
right.
learning is. All right.
That's right.
All right. Take care, everybody. See you next week.
Thank you.